in bad weather reports and so thereby Ayarga fight afenyomakin after vetting showdown so the Democrat daily guide no anymore yenkwe na yenhwe yenim the chronicle the Democrat ni don't draft poor weather caused August military helicopter crash. Chinese investors frustrated as illegal miners take over concession, but Mineral Commission is quiet and I say it's mute and not our Democrat anymore. PPRC royal family appeals to Mahama to resolve chieftaincy wrongs. And also the Democrat with 2 4 over unregulated media space. You know the Democrat anymore. Aircraft wants some any Chinese phobia. Yes, your mining concession yeje ni nyina the Democrat Chronicle the wasem eba no pay yenko enimem na yenhwe the Daily Gist the Democrat no eni anopay ra fortunately me mechia no papa na ono nso edia ode aba anopay na wohwe ose OSP he is incompetent. Matiamidi tells Mahama, they know the Democrat no anymore, and also no foul play in helicopter crash. Says probe report, they know the Democrat anymore. Former boss MD arrested at Kia over gold for oil deal, and back money. So I jailed Atayi 70 years for my family safety. CJ nominee. Now I don't know. Weekend my busy. Later in the night, and I'm who video no. Say Chief Justice and the Casano, me rehoye. Yanko anyway. Na yenhwe na ediaba na nema me reho kese ne se na ni pet wo bom nsem. I was sad. Okay, so the crusading guard Democrat and say don't draft caused August 6th helicopter crash, says investigative committee. Our resolve to defend the constitution unshakable. Afenyomakin and a GG who so many other headlines and so MP and so the Democrat na yenhwe the Daily Analyst the Democrat be our number one brawenim or say 29 DJ Media Awards Satan taking sound alarm over unregulated new media and a speaker and so veteran of Bafuboni speaker apologizes for unacceptable standoff. The honor no pay me jujamuno ewo a honor no pay mejujamuno ewo so I'll get there na helicopter honsem any other headlines yenko anyway na yenfa emransi the Daily Statement the Democrat and so edia baso no mid-air explosion and also aircraft and honsem na say and blasted with wiem said dia you see sabre sanka yachi ada MP no for misinformation and disinformation because on no be can say aircraft no e blasted with wiem into MP before the bomb akwakoshim and they see report na e catch say aircraft no and blasted with wiem and so ada MP no enenam ho ye chenko for egum minority veteran of CJ nominee coordinated assault on judicial independence and also the Democrat no anymore yankwen na yenhwe the Ghanaian Times the Democrat say August 6 helicopter disaster bad weather cause of crash investigative report and idaba and other ones so yankwen na yenhwe the custodian the Democrat Audu Mahamani say minority rejects cruel process to replace Tokonu and ode aba and they say 9% aka 9 pe afedo aka 9 so workers amamu 9 pe tiano so the Democrat no enemy yankom fa Ghanaian new the new publisher and the Ghanaian publisher no fabra na yenyeni enfensi and the Ghanaian publisher the Democrat ani afenyomakin label CJ vetting disgraceful and Jinapop questions government barely lithium deal and a GJ president urges media to promote peace and Baumia outline MPP revival plan and the Democrat no anymore 9% na yama ejuma efo no so ehsesoro most pay 25% mo pay 9%. Okay, so and this paper any margin a pan pay because you don't want me ba be no aha ni gina and no pay me ti ba me say paper ndi aba na me so interesting or say Babes was 1 year ago judiciary executive colluding to weaken parliament. Now, we anopay mejuja mu amede eba na in response to Speaker of Parliament apology or say why the ama Chief Justice nominee any judiciary no na anope ye be expose the hypocrisy of our speaker and the hypocrisy of politicians and it's a Ghana politicians e bi enkan kure enti why krado a meso my krado ma yemfa dwedwemu no emfa emra.
Masevi Party, the last 70.
Analyst Edu Hassenberg said, Speaker of Parliament, I apologize to the judiciary and the but I want you to see the video for yourself. Meba na yedi enkomochi mesramo mo me fa speaker apology no emra. O say all pa judiciary na cho no. Mo me fa sa apology no emra. Iwi ani nya adwuma.
Proceedings of the appointment committee. This morning, my attention was drawn to a few things. And I've come to deliver an apology on behalf of the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana to their lordships and leaderships, the members of the judiciary who were present during the proceedings of the Appointments Committee held for the vetting of the nominee for the office of Chief Justice. Honorable members, this, as I mentioned, was brought to my attention, and they refer to certain comments and conduct of some honorable members during the said proceedings, which may have appeared discourteous or disrespectful to the distinguished members of the judiciary in attendance. Such conduct, though not representative of the collective will of Parliament, is regrettable and inconsistent with the decorum expected of members under the standing orders of the Parliament of Ghana. Honorable members, the standing orders enjoins members to maintain order and decorum in the House and in committee, and to refrain from the use of offensive, insulting, or unbecoming language. In particular, Order 123, Rule 3 cautions members against imputing improper motives or using words that are disrespectful or likely to cause offense.
All right, medase wait me cry dey si wonuma eye. Enti we Speaker of Parliament Endra I'll say all pa judiciary no echo na all pa the Chief Justice nominee no tell say oba Parliament no minority leader any members of the minority on the committee describe Chief Justice nominee no in a way or no Speaker of Parliament na dwunim no unacceptable na foul language na say. So I was wondering, say, is it the same Babin just last year Oditi Chief Justice Natamuna? Is it the same person and a new person? This same constitutional principle, this same order no ana Babin ese odi ye adwuma no. Ana is it because this Chief Justice no appointed by an NDC government? Intino or no dear according with respect. Now the Chief Justice say Kufuor na appoint no a ene NDC for mayi na free hontia. Afenyoma kene minority no ka ho asem no ene ti waba sa obe patch no. Na ma mi toko no de onye ni pa ho. Ka assembly course of parliament. Ana ka break a create parliament 8 parliament ne be kona wiye. And a speaker of parliament say we declare seat be 9 vacant. Enti ama minority no aba abedane majority. And na afenyuma kenom e de court. Now because of that enti oko parliament enti mi trase. Because akono na majority no akota minority na akota majority na fa. Enti for so many occasions na parliament enti mi trase. So asam no ekọ Supreme Court animu no. And the Supreme Court etna asam no so. And na omuma emuaye emma directive kwan fa so enka asam no. Now in the ruling and a Chief Justice Justice Tokonu eka say there is a looming constitutional crisis in Ghana because ye chomemu na parliament intimate trust function there. It means there is a constitutional crisis and we must solve that constitutional crisis immediately. Sa asamoa Chief Justice neka no. No other person in the NDC than the Speaker of Parliament himself organize a press conference or parliament. Ejidi maamenatem. You language na enye adie se ba a free speaker or ye an arm of government, head of an arm of government, another head. In fact, or accusing the Chief Justice of misinformation and disinformation and misleading Ghanaians to think say there's a constitutional crisis. Supreme Court actually na the panel was chaired by the Chief Justice herself no. Na omama ruling ama directive no. Na edi kan wan fa the directive na anya adwuma. Ba na fa directive na anya adwuma. Obu Supreme Court na nimutia. Na etosu mienu obe label the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court no say omo engage in disinformation and misinformation. All because adena Chief Justice na ka say there is a looming constitutional crisis in Ghana. Mebo tape natural. There's a second leg of it. Mebo chero and wabisa who say. So what has changed? Again, answer and Speaker of Parliament, catcher say. Afedie say you know. Mamimo tape natural neti. Mamimo tape natural.
And have faith in God to see me through these dark days of Ghana and our young democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start this presser by disabusing and setting the minds of Ghanaians at ease. There is no constitutional crisis in this country. I repeat, there is no constitutional crisis in this country. The Parliament of Ghana is alive and working. Let nobody mislead, misinform, or disinform you and the country. The democratic system we adopted and enacted, as captured in the Constitution 1992, and fleshed out in various laws, processes, procedures, and practices is what has been triggered, and it is working.
And where you Speaker of Parliament say the democratic processes made us say a war many muno and na oma trigger juma. So a more beer mislead you and can say there's a constitutional crisis. Nobody should engage in misinformation, disinformation. He was referring to the Chief Justice then. Owie yano wamananso wa o say adenti na Supreme Court no ama emuaye say kwan a wo fa so no enye kwan papa. Enti there is a collusion between the executive and the judiciary to weaken parliament. Yera Babin describe can say there is a collusion between the government and the judiciary to weaken parliament. But today, there is also a collusion between parliament and the executive to weaken the judiciary. Because parliament, executive, no, chief justice, and the argument of the minority is simple. There is no lacuna. There is no vacancy. Constitution is say chief justice for whatever reason, the senior most person should act. So there is a pending court case and our court cases. Parliament, pending, both in Ghanaian court, the High Court, the Supreme Court, and the ECOWAS Court. Chief Justice, the senior most judge, act as Chief Justice. Let the person continue to act until see a cases nearby into final determination. You appointed a substantive Chief Justice. Again, and then you pay a man nominating Onona Otiwanoma or panel judge for. Yet there's some cotton and Busumi, or so on panel judge for. Asamdu Gusudaho, and he is the beneficiary. He is benefiting himself. And say delay, Mami Tokonu cases no. The person who stands to benefit, the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bath Boni. And why say panel, and Asamdu Guho, and then Mahama, I appointing the panel at Nabasa Munye, and then minority say, look, Samuya sa. Namu chin emrano and send the whole say some da court ni enkaya parliament so entna sa asem no so in the parliament asam da ho emo bia yankan wi o court no. There is no lacuna, there is no vacancy. Let the system run till say papa no be empano judges no ma tena asem no so akanwie na emu ayaba na ya find a saying a definite decision na yetimi akwa enim. Speaker and in crowd for say dey bi Tianopay said the speaker accuse the then Chief Justice Tokonu say on the then President Akufo-Addo collude to weaken Parliament. Today I am also telling the Speaker of Parliament say he is in bed with the President John Dramani Mahama in the attempt to weaken the only standing institutional Asavi Ghana. Rollins Ebraso crowd be kukra one fani sanka judiciary. No ya nso kuku binum obumoye bobo binum tu. And under John Mahama ye weaken the judiciary. And emu yesa with the help of the Speaker of Parliament and the Parliament. Mommy first our boys nemra Speaker of Parliament. We a playback to him his own ways.
I recognize the fact that connected political and governance implications have not been addressed sufficiently to enrich the national discourse. It is my considered view this should also be vigorously articulated to give a holistic approach to resolving the issue. As one of the protagonists in this matter and a long-time practitioner, it will be a disservice not to respectfully draw your attention to some of the facts, principles, and ethics of politics and governance, the practice and procedures of Parliament, and what is generally referred to as parliamentary law, to throw light on some aspects of the matter and to clarify the considerations that underpinned my actions. The current brouhaha may be likened to a power play between the arms of government and has the potential to undermine our democracy and the authority of Parliament. Its outcomes could subvert Ghana's institutional order and the democratic system that is have toiled, sacrificed their lives, and shed blood to establish for decades. Ladies and gentlemen, recent acts of the judiciary and executive, and I see them as interference in the workings of Parliament, pose a direct challenge to the essence, jurisdiction, authority, powers, and functioning of the esteemed institution of Parliament, which is the repository of the sovereign will of the people of Ghana. It is increasingly becoming clear the judiciary and the executive are seemingly colluding to weaken Parliament. The decision of the Ghanaian voters.
So that is your Speaker of Parliament during the 8th Parliament last year, accusing the executive and the judiciary, or say a power play between arms of government. And you know, Obia person has certain authority. So now the Speaker of Parliament, Ehuni say, a payback time to pay back the judiciary. So not so echo naive with the executive. Say ene almost so ebe good judiciary no to their benefit, because over the years judiciary no ena egina as MMA provided check and balance for both the executive and Parliament. In Jene, there is an attempt, there is a collusion between John Mahama and Babin to weaken the judiciary. Enti yi tokonu de free ho ama ene yesi bafuboni emra ama ene make say ensam gu ho ayen kan wiye ye set bad precedents for this government, for this country. And Babin, I would describe it, Chief Justice in this manner, no, have the guts to come out and say he's apologizing to the judiciary because after Newmarket, I can say I describe the Chief Justice in a certain way, which is for me is very unfortunate. And Ora Speaker Babin should never ever try to say short memory. Miss May Kanene said there is a collusion between Ono Babin and John Mahama to weaken the judiciary. Today, look, judiciary has never ever been scared than today. Because you see, Dumunumpo and the Jadamua Eshi Nedu Chief Justice Nimpo Niyi na wo High Court judge and answer wo Circuit Court judge. It's there are some qua judge we are all equal before the law, but some are more equal than others. In Ghana, say animal farm. It's even though as some of you and Yasi Biaba Medubetum, now Mamea do to Black Mariam, now them. That is the state we find ourselves because he is doing that to please the president and the government. So now, you do case especially say a political undertone. Judge, seeks to please the government because some are more equal than others. Look at the bill and try to say if you are waiting me pay. Only 21 days. I was sales. Say your money bill. You're jailing you. You're jailing you. Just say your money bill. So betting your meaty bill condition. What done with 21 days? As I say, on the as we jail because on the say gifty or worry say 10 million. Say no. What done with 21 days? Or say 800 million. And so bet them by 5 years and to meet bill condition. That is the judiciary we have. Say ye please the government of the day because say we can government be keke we in the parliament Speaker of Parliament be keke. So that is what they are doing now. And obia kananu atum obia mpese obeka ho asem. Nanke ba ne sen and a Chief Justice nominee wako before Parliament ni ebisa wasem a we say I mediata yi etumu 70 years because se me man 30 years no kono ba oba be attack mebusuafo so medini tum se onkomra ne mewu. In fact, the real intention of the Chief Justice no anything or the attack tum se onko prison. Because when we say prison condition of living no and yet it's a jail 70 years you die there. And if Atai to come out of prison and come and target his family, no, he will prefer Atai dying in prison And that's the only reason why here Ojeli Atai 70 years say onkononko wu afiase. Na wonya mpanifo na yet dem woni e boy ensem. They are not serious. They yenya MPs. Na omote committee dem ho any audience say wonya a chief justice nominee say the only reason here odi obi atum 70 years ne say onipa no be kwa ba beta be attack na busuafo. So not based on law, not based on anything, but based on the personal hatred and I say the personal sentiment. If your jail will be 70 years. No one can penny for the Ghana for sovereignty. I got to a badia mom to go and represent us. Near to 1 year, jokers. Yes, without being sensitive to this sensitive issue. Yes, yes, see, a jail will be 70 years. Because he just never say on Penasem and I say or Kobo Abe Hanin, near jail in 7 years. No wonder. Into the same principle, no, on Petro Konu Asem, because of four say he was the longest serving judge in the Supreme Court. Into the Mamaja Tokonu have no business becoming Chief Justice before him. Into no the case near Diabano or Empano or their two baby. And the same principle. Mijeli Atai 70 years because Obekaba Behame Bushia. One so one send for Tassa obey Chief Justice over me and to educate about me and Pano Media tour. Obi abet me draw our conclusion and view. So because me 14 Pano. That is the country we are building. And here say there, then I'm afraid say democracy no in so because of Ukojina judge bi anymore or how was ya kwa utiso o heti kakraka say die maybe nyima be wo so ntie de ko 50 years we wa bobu court na ebo odin o say for saying ye for kwesi mensa and ye for koju menu die oba asante ni mpa asante for asem 10 years and now the same the atanga de so obe fisirim esirim fo so de mpa o asem ti ko 15 years. All the same, also me doji the obey young nani, and when I force the mupa kulindo, and to court 20 years, no do aquacotum. Then now judges make jelinipa because of how they feel and not based on the law. Very unfortunate. One of the most unfortunate statements are me Martin this week. As usual, Kwano say don't be pessimistic. Kofono esre. Bom some the boss he because enyomwa enra na ya tai enne anochana ebetimi ayewa bidin Kwaku Dawuro we ejudwam on movement in the morning da sebra no matena se emo makwaba na ewura nsem no Kunmo aya din sediana
onyame beye
onyankopon
na beye
kwa metwedi ampa
oh wati ase nko ade
ba se yi adoma na ba se yi dom efiri oha ne amanim da se bre yes se wo kuru kantanka etiase the do ase the do adaban tiase a okuru kantanka odidida ti se ti bia na se bre se nyankopon tiase die Ebeyi. Yes. Na ye medamo asen so se me koye no mu hwe akiri nyina kama na wonim se me du me kromu a ya na minni adagye ukra enti minya kudusa se ya pa mintimi kura nhwemu enti ende bi anadwo na matimi akofa fa yi ni so ahwese akwara be se media no so akohese ede na ekoso ho ti momo so magbo adwuma kama na professor Mebabu adi ano pay mi tia no na professor Mebabu adi mi tia no pa ni mama Great Ofori Auntie Maggie so mi tia no na engineer Jonas Adjumai the Gambia mine engineer too much engineer Dina die otene so anu asore nti me dana sepa akusika nso so ewo yo ya we na mo pe na akusika ti edi mesi mi am fe sem tia na tia na say ama fofo say ma yira won sesem me se de me yira ye ma me ba ko we friend no Grace akusua ohini wa entry so wa okanko south or so ya ono so metin kana so na ma Rosemond ni birthday ma Rose painting Rosemond akwam okay me who say yes me so no so send me message batment me ankohwe anti omu nyina wo a omu bisa ase nyina ye do mo ase Victoria Donko US message Victoria Donko yes anti me do mo ase ene mo so a mo hwe atiri ma me so no mo so me da mo ase papa aba na bibi kakraba me de bibi kakraba na mo de ya okay and then me de bre mo no ma me fan kire mo okay on say na ohuma hyase o mikroma okugwa na amamre kakra bi wo no ma na ese ekọ na ekokohwe na yeye se ja mpanifo se ye dijawa na ye dia so ne no me papa ni ho nti ya na ese me sko bua mpanifo na ye hwe chi nti ebusu apani se mo hye ne bosem beba se agina so bosem woni godon nti wo hwe manim se mo beba ansa na ohum na kwa eti Monday mun so wa kamemu no ya ebesi hina isi no tesi ni Joada numu ne so last week omoche ohime bi ewo mikrum na in fact I think say in Ghana's history no be the youngest ebi sida nti me sheda say medinfoni ni bi ba be kire mo okay over 10 years yes actually him 10 years 10 years nti akala me fa foni ni bi enchire for record ya me de ba say me de bet so eno so want me ama nti aba sisi akudi embeti aka so ya ba ya say ya yen na name 10 years na na efe uni 10 years nti we ye first time in history minim say bribi asanteme mo ti ohiri bi anu wanya 13 years ba we die oye 10 years na ni nuanom ni nuanom a oni omuko school we bi ja no na otiwa ye twa odwan gu ni nan so a mo susu gina na chi a omo ehwe no na efe kekenti ye fe no nana afia nana afia kumiwa nana afia kumiwa nti ono ne abontindom ankobia nti o say ni school for ni jani classmate for ambijana omu ejana chi ebehwe nti ne papa ena last ode empabo abre ne papa no nti se wanyana na ofi nti me ya me say nana maame nana nkonzu na se ombesu no onkonsu onkanyina akọ school so a akọ school so na je say no ano no nti 10 years nti ono ne okugwa abontindom ankobia hema nti we history nti ne nua no mu ejana chi kujano nti nyamedi eba no na medamase minua nana kwame nsuso isi aso ni di o kan papa yim na no ye ensino ono so isi aya no isi ale di na ofosu mpere o di kan so aye no okugwa ntutu ye hene nti na se otum se ho na nya asem ketwa ko nti mo mu nyina tiri kwa Jawa near their so. Now, because you're saying,
oh, actually, because so Jan, what I bet you. Bonibians, you have actually come.
Who should achieve a
Dima,
Modi, the Anina, when Yamibi, and Yashi. All right, Mate, and the Mesumi that must say, most of the fair friend. Now, and try, and I mean, whom I be an opponent, you say, boast. Former MD, Alfred Ni Obodai Province. You see, much no airport. Abriana Utukwa Koma to El Mozambique. And
official duty.
Yeah, Oma Akochino airport. Na a hard dream, just say, you see, I do ho. Say, you perceive Guba Omianfi. It's good for all your policy no.
Or the baby on the buy no. You perceive you go home iffy. It's no Yakoche province. Na Bisabri from an Andre Numeno na Omunya for official statement be a mabonting. Need your machino, any baby or war and all that. But we are told, say, because of the gold for oil issue meeting. Okay. Sanet here, dear, that's a mate. Somewhere April this year. About 90,000 liters of fuel. You're contaminating or both this year.
This year, may say April 17th April 2025. 90,000 liters of contaminated fuel. Ever boast. National security for Kofano 3:40 a.m. Edifi boast for a yard name. That's all I'm going to call him. Now, I don't know man can watch some fan to Ghana for. And in Ghana for person moting.
There's a 20,000 gallons.
Yes.
20,000 gallons.
Yes. 90,000 liters.
Yeah, 20,000 gallons.
And you're not so every boss. 3:40 a.m. On the 17th of April this year. I have an echo. About Sunday contaminated. Why the coffee, a fire the cohen, and then you catch the Ghana for about it. So I say contaminated food, and a dim moving pina, and then you juice all your homes and buy. I don't know where you can watch my fancy. Where the Rebecca Tasso. Now, Yachi province because you perceive good anymore.
Okay, and this is 4 years in Yachu, on person good NPP for anymore. I say, Keke. Now, Oko member will be answer crowd there more there and now problem.
Yes,
because even MPP primary so queen can't be or her want to say Yafu Munipa.
In fact, on record, na Akwabi Aya Juma El Communication Ministry. He was under probe. One of campaign for one of the parliamentary presidential aspirants. Oye call no. Yajakwano. And if that day will be frame catch him say Dawuro ya motaka say mo station ya to me e bi no bi
NPP ni bi nsa
but sa ade na course no manage masem ne.
Okay. Until the nyama aircrow no NPP aspirants no e bi ni NDC aban no Akwa Alliance na de omo ye nyina ne say omo say party no to the benefit of NDC. Yeah, can wait now, baby, I can be but a fact. You will be 2024, may only be 2025. In the end, you're infantile. Now, a reaction, a dear than a done in a breadier than a done idiot. The only power will be an Edwin Muchan. Now, we not market here. And now you can acting Chief Justice, National Kokaya. Maybe I tell you, for the Amokoya appeal. I want the sentence number the man on the date term number the man on because Papa no, I come a reaction in arty. Say, when you know, a 70 years man, name or per se, I tell you, co prison. Say the way Oma, and me how in the bushnia, and into no man is 70 years. Into Reno, and some of my bushano Mujaso, now Modekoya appeal. 10 years sentence no woman to so akwabi na so okowi akoko and I'm going to call court no okowi akoko na I'm going to call court no gina that come gerere yankomra judge ni si try to rev abrantie asem na we dey buy we default komu fiedu and waka so komu fiedu no say hey judge adai o gas me jimi won and o me say adai na o kan say o say ah last week and obi ko wi anantwi ade no bre wo court he ya man 5 years no na so obi ko wi anantwi no man 5 years na ko wi akoko na man 10 years ga and ya me ntiase at least me dey ka abro so kra 3 years because o akoko ba ko time we do nantwi na man nantwi 5 years na be ma me akoko 10 years ga won ntiase oh judges no do me bia unim na omo se utanye na na akwhira ga bi hu kra da unya asem ko ha and a life sentence because according to Justice Bafu Money no or trans in who say or ma or busia or they after you come 30 years here obeba na obe dinu boni nti yem kwoto ntwe ho na omu ho
but so my question is so why fair and candid no you sue emra no na dia ye adna usuru sata yi de kwaba because I no so aye boni and ya jinu na odigana na ejinu a ade tu no be kwa ba beta na judge so ma di assembly crofo tuma o mo ntete asase so ade ntia me o kan so na me ntia asem ene ayi mu ntie trefo emre di omo ene ye di omo tu omo ko bamba bo hana o ma mo bia they are enkrofo bebre o makọ jail aba
ba mo ni na mo ba bi o makọ bebre akọta na
omo nko bo jaji
obi ya ko ya sofo aba and
it's then the man na ye justice a bath bond say
oba obekunu
I don't know obu attention ana anana e din atayi an committee
ebu no fo
is it atayi an committee offense na no dey born na and what was it
anti ebusuan no me ye obu so na na oye chief justice o le kwa opo betu agudie ba ti fa nko na wiase nyina hunu se de oye ye no de free mo abani na nya se na ho se ye nya judge bi a okodi obi asem edi enfie bi tu no so a na nipa ntia se na afedie obepe chief justice edi no oto na num tuo e kan se odi akwa no kotu mu mfie adi oson ebise na odi bo na busu aho ban eye na ayese na ho na da bi anchirima ba no mso akai
emu aya o
emu aya de papa no ye no emu aya
papa
endi se nipa ye do mu gumu nyina nya wo mu nyina no mo difo ena woni difference nya sentence odi mo nyina no ye papa o because ye nyim nyinti no judge no de opebia no ayo enti se ohwe wani ma no wani nya ni fa na fe obu aguso okra otiri ni pe mo abehunu hunu ankwada nti koda prison fie du no e dia no de wakotu just like that
oh e bia na oba akoko bi atena komada oye kokko na edu wa so ba akoko
munye ni papa
oba akoko ye bad nti ko 10 years no de watu bodo machi
ina Kwaku
na boko die
nyame aduma hoden ho but ana pese me yaye mmekaka
sawo asem bi esi ana
oh da bi siskani ho na emanikum
waba amiri godon eko fu joint
hwan no DJ Solis
papa ka de nka ho wana
simple
ye da na see in advance
simple say odi beba na edi akọ
me say you say last time ka say me wo Practical Rights Association na proposal article kan ye trokrata ekope bibia concluding you know say thanking you in advance in anticipation of your cooperation.
No,
thank you in advance. What we had for now, years ahead, Kwaku, is going to be very long. I will say, Abia, a commodity na opesu kudidi. Yes, we'll be about 12 and now be the 12 and more.
Commodore. Say amo yenu na muzirimi fo yi amu ye Ramadan du Ramadan brina say 6 ba na obetimi adidi na 6 mo abo 5 na ka say be ya 6 ne be bo no wadidi
e mada
na wale buhu
na akwakwa long hours
yeah
eti Kwaku ready MPP fo nyina ye prepare we say long years ahead
3 years na 6 years
long years ahead na and this for the be fa abosim de be fa abuom de be fa sutadiemu de be fa enchechiremu de be fa be a scorpion be fa nkaseso na ni nyina no be gidi san kopon be boa na wo gina echi ginapa na wo yefrim enema ni bi wo hol ma Kwaku wan so akoma mu a na ade a wo wa ne se bia obetimi atworo ana obetimi aka wan hwe ya obeka se bia na broso na obetro ade bia ma ebetrap me de me madwe me se enka ye wo baabi pan omo democracy no anyini a even though polarized but minimum standards no say baby hall mark red line boy and cross dia enye sa Kwaku enka chief justice nominee also come am peni kwa bedro the nomination
Eni se
ka parliament di pokase e mu kwa approve mpo straight away na o senka president redraw nomination say jaja obi ampusi Kwaku obi ampusi no an question say den na wo de ade na command say wa out of your
nyame
ene pina no buy say usuru 1% atayi ba batuli ntina atayi enkoda fiase na ogu wo
that was intention.
Okay.
Say 70 years. So when you're 20 years okra. Na 70 90. Fiase condition.
Conditions na say tin dem an ba form. Oh, e ma mi suro. E ma mi hwehwe mu say, enti obi nso a ye de ne kwato mu 20. Adibio ebia kai se da nye yi. Ama me kwa me question agrada kwa mpo de kwato mu say, agrada man 15 years. Unless say ebia na kai na the minimum. Say minimum mo dia. Say judge no e hu hwia enye yi. But agrada say bia kai na do 3 years. Ama me question nye ma bi. Esa na the papa na be ye no wo ba office yin mestre say the public relations for election no one guiding with the castle where your second major slipper was slippo ya emfa edmunyam emre wono any judiciary no eno my Ghana Kwaku ena me dase say wabo sa eyi video no speaker video no wow me kakra mehu say just DF anan and start here just DF anan buy and na Peter Lajeti buy and na Ebenezer Bejinasi Hughes e buy and na e fere se ma me no kwampo just banfo ado e buy and na
Amedo Ebreyo
Order. What does it? And now, you buy it. Your friend is saying, this is the Council of State Chairman. Do Ajahu, a buy. And now, Professor Makuku, a buy. Senior. In fact, a bra, not a yiban. Oh, I don't hear him breathing this. I mean, the name. For former and the Council of State Chairman. A bra, do Ajahu Bano. More fight media, but may cast when you say Bian, me boo up an enemy here. But not Dwaja who shed the portrait. So said in the member of parliament. Not in the post who say, or by bay speaker, obey Buga, a Budemagu MPP. So I be beer their fever and NDC. But trust me, records stress. Speaker. Dwaja who will perform me creditably. Yeah, won't you that records with brace na we see MPP for our parliament. Bibia said that dresser. Speaker Dwaja who we are the pan. In fact, Professor Michael Quay is so bano. Then people should say Professor Michael Quay is so dear. One shake kwa koni fi kwa na kuhuna koko na ubuna koko na ya. Emoja bani ye blue a MPP because MPP did the team it say it's like of what just one say ya ono so be say this for opa kubusa then minority chief whip Mutaka Mubarak kubusa edru ayiso babin baye Mutaka Mubarak ka say Babin Subana ward then a deal of parliament no airtime na obehave to say a crazy kwakito beso hinia we dictator wanga
okay
What say?
O behave say Odikro dictator.
Odikro be dictator. And Shaswa.
And Adamanche.
And Shaswa. Emma, what can I say? Bab ye Opayanko Busa Professor Makokwe. Professor Makokwe gave them room. He had them. And this in you, Muntaka Mubarak. Yeah, for me, I can describe Muntaka Mubarak in NDC exercise. He's a bit hawkish. So for him to give that damning verdict on Babin, na anodi. My name Speaker of Parliament about my Ghana. Yeah, what judiciary and Mutia HM Babin. That will boy one can't question. Who read this picture that will be read the what is one what Nasi?
So obedi
Chief Justice Mrs. to talk with Watem. Was said that's who obedient at him to the sense of what I say Ghana president and executive and judiciary. I can't boom episode omugu legislature. But so you know na a rule and order send the Ujinaso cars as you know. Na rule by and order bang according to their standing orders. Na dienya. You rather as the speaker, you brought the name of the judiciary and then the executive into public opprobrium. The speaker yourself. And the assembly the parliament. But so Emrechi or sign for your market kasa. Me said that baby brain. Man who baby a wakasa ye a good judiciary no hoofing. Man who one upon wakasa baby. Man who baby a wakasa ye say or man what tra amanako good friend saying Justice Bafuboni and Mutia and answer by extension judiciary. Baby the way chess one man can home and near friends say I need to do so Casaba Cope. Yelpocasa ruling out of order. Another Umpre was calling the majority leader to order say and then my warrior and yes sir. And the Becky Crab Kakabel Casai. It's saying say and some honorable a fellow market Kayano. Yen a good judicial whom if Yana. What?
Because the Chief Justice way there or yan this Chief Justice in tea or the Bunan Mutia. And
will be also put moon and Mutia.
And the Oka some crap. The behavior of Mahama Yargadadi.
All about for the market, Cassase, no, I saw the
behavior of Mahama Yargadadi.
What they say, Ebia, the food you put over bar, or can't effort. Hey, I saw the minute, and then ya, Edward become fool. What the make I say? Or can't ever say, but I seem to him, what's weather or Babeka? No, I saw the minute, Mema won't cut. I will not, Mema won't yet. Parliament, ya would ya. The bed, if it had been the bell, you say, in the individual beautiful. That I made the Yaman say, on up one of them precaches a matter. We are member of parliament is in now. We are member of parliament. 7 previous in nine crop poor beer, add the young about Modican, and I'm a one. And one in a cover more back one, Obedican. And until the parliament, you mean, entering now, I say, Yam will be a new money cabal. The first one I'm majority leader or minority leader or speaker in Chester, parliament, I would ya. What Becky can say when you see the hard when they say, open to MPP, minority black. As if you say, but they will kind of babbing, oh boy, we will go when you must.
Wouldn't bang yourself. Now, the land a year when you say, after 8 parliament, you know, was a speaker. Sanko, I'm your speaker in the year. And come on for because, oh, Bami, you know your principle. About you know in the Sana or Yenya choosing will be our reaction. Bami, or Yenya choosing will be our reaction. Now, he will go down in history as the worst speaker Ghana Yenya. The politics now, it says, times will be added. And somehow, okay, can you brand a Kufuado, your president? Nine people were power. And if you are who in the year, your Mahama, your president, now NDC in your power. No. And somehow, okay, I mean, what you get what now can somebody MPT president?
I saw no better me to speaker, by speaking to me to know. Now, two president, to me to know.
And the second most powerful person in Ghana. but okay can say nyina say president ni wa won't me president this is a vice president and so no o me member ni meti so ye na kokuru kosem Mr. Bamin ebi abetwam ko am ye bobo bonkrofo din ya ju mo ho dance no se wonni ho a dance be na mafo be dia fa ho enti on tunu bo ase kakra na ohunu se eye adwuma na abeduru na abeto na obeja ho akọ obi ani wa obedi president ya woko wode Jubilee House ana kane cast call fie sanso na be speaker on fa parliament house no so nko obeja ho Ghana be koso aye Ghana ndu ye nyema bia monto mbo ase mo de mo ba opposition dia ene de court be ye bia no enye but mo ba mu dia ene court ne asoro bofo ne guo because mo na mo appoint chief justice nti en fa sa chichiri man ma ya hunu se wo ye man of principle na de wo ye de ama nipa nyina hunu se de na oti ho in the eighth parliament no de na wo ye nyina na ye ndc ho time ena na wo de yes ah ene akoma pa ena na wo de for as speaker
any party yo every say ayi bai yem say I think records nature say just the final pen no free mu me boa oni bitalajeti
yeah
o ma kan no mu na da foti ase o just ban for lado wada foti ase Ebenezer Bejina Search Hills crack pepper bi Ebenezer Bejina Search Hills wada foti ase o
Search hujis
I think what is that when you power Search Hills is around 85 there about
yes speaker hujis
no and I make it no your best media ene wa ban mu wa okuta position bi susu fa hwa ho na susu fa popo nipa susu twa num
ye no wa na ti ha
Babin no wo ye hypocrite Babin we dictator
na
and Babin is in collusion with the executive against
some person the judiciary of Ghana.
And yes, they have succeeded.
Yes.
Na me asema na no kan ya no nwa ani se Akufo-Addo starve no
of them.
I'll see or withdraw almost all the entitlement the benefits as during the eighth parliament.
Obia ye budget ya wo se
otimi kase
ya wo pe no
onsanka
ya mfa bia ntumu a
o me nka budget
o me nka budget kwa na approve
obi e so about $4.3 million and a call Dubai
kosa ho yare me say
Kwaku
na suban we efi
na go
na go do abro
why mobo
anana de seja
oye babin pa aban no ofri aban mo babin ka se o starve no na do say nipa ye kobra
babin ewo me nka ne kese but at least babin da so wo two recognized family homes me kanwa babin or two recognized family homes in official family homes and he is entitled to security ya musa babin say e brother na Akufo-Addo na president always speaker no say the two homes no two family homes no ya ma police for anko two families nya ama o man ko protect one ma tell say
in fact ono kwa no na mokuta so okuta security 12 soldier for ebeye 6 and a police for 6 ono kwa
in the history of Ghana MPP history of Ghana since 1992 speaker bia the whole mo a ya ball ho ka eche wo I babin ni na happen and na Akufo-Addo me see you two family homes no security wo hala say di ho police for ti ha and the police for so ti ha efie me ni nyina no omo ti ho no 24/7 ebo mo ho ban babin ebe speaker was what for Thanksgiving service I would chrome na doli babin for plane every Accra 95.9 Tamale and now omo de convoy be fa no koy na the dispatch rider oguti dispatch rider ba what the babin ebe fa chrome ayi keche kakra no wase wampe wade wampe boga de wampe Tamale de na emom no dispatch rider no wa kra no enfra kra wampe motorbike no enfra kra no onko da doli kalio oduru ejo so side ho ba bi enu nya accident enu wuye to boka Kwaku mama fancy
absha movement in the morning jume de sunia ha movement TV no twe abo apawo sema edu mienu na anopai ye bekọ yanim na ye de nkoma hodo aka no e de aba helicopter no minim say me and drive di me
report no
minim me ha me say report me wo ba me kan minim so watimi akan dia
Kwaku me nkan
okay
report na ne say ni nyina ne say omo se nye bibia ni si e weather
eno anu tintini
omo say a snapshot am yesi plane no was in a good state na mum na any safety equipment said bien bi and I'm saying so mo nim so mo ka say na plane no any a good state and no mo 2 year Ghana for be ka say identity na mo 2 plane na any good state
you see no to mo da ko se weather no the plane was in a good state
said their weather na no said their weather na no sister Fia
yeah but man for me so ba be na and you na me de papa every day. Said the plane was in a good condition. But for me, Musa question you. It is our woman almost say Nanka president the Buffalo plane be Nanka as interior minister of food. It can plane na president they kofro interior minister kofro not defense minister kofro. So no kwana it was in a good shape. Now we say the bed weather down the bed just say I say what can you just say and frama can see a free throw. Sane ba form no pressure no so into no be push and number form e le kosi and said the motor over 52 pages na hunya e better na aye dia and natural disaster
na mo train tintin
dem no recording devices be any other thing ho media members mechanic say recommendations na
I'm saying recording device you
anya black box is different from other recording devices but people can say dem look time 9/11 see that's a 9/11 see na person would need Washington as New York kwampo no na baby yes no at Air Force 1 mu and komo bia na say ke cost ntimi anko and after 9/11 no omo hwe ho say the Air Force 1 so mo di na mebe hihyeshi etiwe no say wo say na di na mebe hihyeshi mu a ye go pebi ye fancy na mom no helicopter ye atifi yin ene Ghana presidential jet no twaka bia nim but asaba ka hot yase helicopter we kwati hwe no ene presidential jet no twaka bia nim presidential jet the tribe black one say
it's good for purpose.
Oh, you saw a higher way, pristine condition, pristine. Not just a holding womb. PRI, Shamami, PRISTINE, pristine condition.
There's a who they say secondary body.
Mao being can say, plain that what is Sadia, presidential jet, young quarter for young quarter for. It's what pristine condition. Last year, it is still in the pristine condition, especially whereby Kwaku, and this is for buyer no more than the course or France.
And now it's in the Kutubi.
And now, Master, that pristine.
Pristine can refer to either the brand name of a floor cleaner or a misspelling of the word pristine, which means perfectly clean, fresh, or in its original condition.
Perfectly clean, fresh, or in its original condition.
Let us say original condition.
It is a plain name between a rubber. Someone report to them. Almost I can say at all, but my time. As I was at all, is it 2012 or 2015? Me na person Muhammad. Oh, said na enko fo bi nam. Ai na na kufa na kwato ye na kwato 1969. I was the buy. Na kufa
ni paponi ni. Na do de
kwaku man hwe ya. Why na Bible wana o otuko oso Enoch ho.
Elijah na. Enoch.
Enoch no 2 years old.
Enoch na o say ma me no na say Enoch no na tete. Enoch no hu wo no.
Enoch no hu wo no. Kwaku.
Na Elijah say fa no koso.
Aye so bi mi no.
Elijah you find no control sir.
Okay. Osha modern day democracy. Yeah, practice for Ghana since 1982 pa bisi media. Kwaku, what na na Akufo-Addo to tudi pe bi ho a. Na Akufo-Addo say Akufo be fa. E mo ma ni wabre. E mo ma ni say dem Akufo si tan na Akufo-Addo e twa to so na wusia na e so the total cream the jado the total cream extra. Your body. No. E man tell you bre no.
All right, me anya adwuma ye ko eba me adwuma bi kakra. But before that, mo mfa mo ko Elwak Stadium. Me enko hwe ne ye ko so. No, emerante no ne maba no so mpeso jedi.
On be san line nya me de news ba na
o nya news dey ba
ma for ma wie dada wie dey say ye for
na dey no
keke ma fa ni pa na wie dada do me ye nyina dey
enti we di video no be tro wie ya na ye fe ye bo Dr. Bawumia video no ba ko hwe anopa new Elwak Stadium no hu ba bi a line no e wo hu ni pe gu ho enya asem ketu awu
na se kwa no ko ma ji kwa na fa
na obe asem o
na wo mo tiri ho apepa ni so no mo ma no mo do mo ko ya na
so mo enu ti na ayi dafe makpo on person mo do mo kwakrafo ni wura mu nti no said omo ko national card Ghana card no esi omo kwan because Ghana card no be expose age no nti if you say dey push say yen parliament ni nko 30 years instead of 25 years
yes larger ni no kwa
larger ni no
cause ko kwafo mu pa ba Ghana card ati wo mu
kwafo ne gomu no joma dwan ne so mbetwema fam ba Ghana card ebe yi omu nyina e dey aba wonten. All right, ya wie ne sa no Dr. Bawumia so voter regime boa
sure
Dr. Bawumia responded to as Kwaku Asante Boateng minim say no mo bo sa video na
am bo na nwumre no ba bo na nwumre.
All right, enti Dr. Bawumia I responded to Kwaku Asante Boateng any nipa bit say ono a omo wo no abokana Japan team nim any other team so omo ka say ye konfa ne sa akwa be use nti sa bri yemfa no to baabi ana say no ye don't kodi CCC no Dr. Bawumia no amu I responded to issues ni nyina ti anope mebo video no kakra bi dia cho na wetimi hu ne koso my card am me mo sa video yeah.
Now if you look at the situation that we have in the party, all of us have helped this party, isn't it? Some people have lost their lives because of this party. I have also done a lot for this party, but sometimes you hear things that make you sad as an individual. Some of my opponents have gone around saying that Dr. Bawumia is a stranger in this party. They have said that I'm an outsider. Some even said that I was brought in as a slave in this party. Look, this party, this tribalism, that is what I call it. We should be very, very careful about it. The people who say those things don't know the history of our party. They don't know the history of our party. If you look at the history of our party, you'll see that the antecedents, we started with an amalgamation of parties from different regions that came together to form our party. The Northern People's Party, with SD Dombo as the head. The National Liberation Movement, with Buzia and Bafo Seyakoto. There. The Muslim Association Party was there. The Togoland Congress under SG Anton was there. The Anlo Youth Organization under Modestus Apalo was there. The Gan Shifimo Pe under Obechebi Lamte was there. You know, all these came together to form the United Party. That is why we call it a United Party. And this is where we came. My own father was the vice chairman to SD Dombo. Dombo was the chairman of the Northern People's Party. And Mumuni Bawumia, my father, was the vice chairman to the Northern People's Party. And this is really the roots of our party that came in today.
All right, so we Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia responding to Kwaku Asante Boateng and in the likes. What do you say about this?
Yes, Kwaku. Also, when you can hear, say baby, we ba because say we MPP niya. Kwaku Asante Boateng, I was saying they call Patriotic Institute, and so acquire extra classes. Now we the formation of MPP. Why a canoe wizard Dankwa Dumbo traditional adequate canessa. Now, if every couple will be a friend SD Dumbo. What I say, Ebia would name a history, so we name one, a becan. But a whole